Right, let's give this one a go. Getting some very cool hands with this deck. As I said in the deck take, it's just nice to be able to use stuff that's a bit different, you know? We'll go for Dread Wanderer first because it's got 2 power. We want to get that extra physicality on the field to provide the oomph required. Let's do that. Swing in. So Grist is interesting. It acts like pseudo aggro. There's a lot of mid-rangey cards in here. The top end's not too high. They've got 2 mana up. Could be anything really. Let's see if we can resolve a Wrenn and Realm Breaker. If not, it is what it is. Next turn, the Revenant should hopefully be able to draw us a couple of cards. Growth Spiral in response. I'm not too bothered about that. Are they going to counter it? Strict Serenade, giving us more aggro to the field. Okay. I mean, we've got pressure now. We also have Terra Sunder to take down one of their blockers if needs be. Okay, and they're just a very reactive Shana deck, which, in my opinion, I think that's wrong. Shana needs to be out in the field as early as possible in order to start aggressing, start gaining that life, start paying 3, drawing the cards. Everyone seems to think that they put blue in a bloody deck, they become a control master all of a sudden, and it's just kind of weird. You know, blue doesn't have to just be control. And you know what? This is a very important lesson here, guys. If you're not used to building blue, it doesn't always signpost counter spells. Shana isn't really a permission deck. She needs to be hyper aggressive. Just keep that in mind. I think people go down this rabbit hole of I don't know how to use X color, and then the main issue is applying the wrong lessons going forward. But yeah, that just a tip for this color combination, this commander is, yeah, play more aggressively. It's difficult to kind of give a blanket statement because obviously every commander is different, but I would probably not use it as a permission deck. So try to be more reactive. Strict Serenade is good, but against certain threats. Against a Wrenn and Realm Breaker, if they had the Shana down a bit earlier, they could have pressured Wrenn and Realm Breaker with just the physicality of Shana anyway, and they wouldn't have even needed to use Strict Serenade, which gave us a 2/2, which can bite them in the arse. So, although Strict Serenade is a fantastic card, it's a lot better on expensive threats that are going to change the game. And I've said this before, but people are very trigger happy with counters. It's not even just Bant deck, put counters in. It's Bant deck, counter the first thing you see, which is the wrong thing to do, basically. Hello, welcome to a new episode. Today we're looking at Grist Voracious Lava, which is one of the new flip walkers from Modern Horizons 3. He is a 1-mana creature that becomes a planeswalker. That's one of the cheapest planeswalkers to have ever existed. Magic continues to push the boundaries of ridiculousness, and I've just realised on the artwork for Grist, I thought Grist was on the floor of a forest or woods, but it looks like he's on the back of another creature because there's scales sort of going across and there's blood everywhere. It's kind of grotesque. It's kind of disgusting in hindsight. And you can see through his little sort of headpiece, his little skull, which is just absolutely demented. And then it becomes Grist. It somehow gains a spark. How does an insect gain a spark when a spark derives from emotional trauma? Unless an insect, of course, has a super consciousness and they completely understand grief and pain and other things. But I don't know the answer to that. That's a question for a scientist. So find your nearest scientist and tell me, would an insect be able to experience true trauma and grief and ascend into a planeswalker form? But the deck, regardless of the philosophy behind it, you basically want Grist to die, which is very mean, but then you can reanimate him using a number of different ways and then pay 1 green to flip him. Now, it can be anything, actually, that returns pay 1 green to flip him. So it can be itself, and then you get him back with an Unearth, which is one of the very few abilities for 1 black, 1 mana, that just returns a creature CMC3 or less. It's actually pretty good, and it has cycling as well. And on the picture, the artwork is a Phyrexian Negator or Phyrexian Obliterator, one of those. But there's lots of other creatures that can come back from the graveyard too. You've got Dread Wanderer, Cult Conscript, Razor Lash, Transmogrant, Chthonian Nightmare brings things back, Skyclave Shade comes back, Tenacious Underdog comes back. loads of things. We've also got things to put stuff in the graveyard, like Grimflay, which is a lovely little boy. Put stuff in the yard to bring them back. Myco Torrent cares about things going into the graveyard. Ulritstein puts things in there. Honest Rustine brings things out of the graveyard. It's obviously like a yo-yo, this deck. Warren Soul Trader, this is something else entirely. Crazy card. Turns all your creatures into mana, which is just kind of crazy. I feel like this is going to be part of several infinite combos. You know, make a token, make a mana, make a token, make a mana, and so on and so forth. You can pay for loads of expensive things. There's not too much of a top end here because we wanted to be doing most of the work in the early turns. But, you know, sacrifice to things with braids give you some value. Woe Strider lets you scry. Ren lets you get stuff out the graveyard. I'm going all over the place here. Izoni gives you a lot of value by collecting evidence in the graveyard. So you get the point. Put stuff in the graveyard, bring shit out of the graveyard. That's the Golgari way. This is the way of the tiny insect boys. And when he flips, do not underestimate him. He's a lot better than you think. Making a body a turn is pretty epic. Just remember, this costs 1 freaking mana to cast. What the hell else do you expect? People that think this isn't strong, I think you need to reevaluate what 1 mana can do these days. I know that it involves a lot of pieces, but the down payment was 1 mana. Remember that. Naturalize on a stick, potentially creating death touches on a stick, and then -6, create loads of creatures. Let's see how we get on in today's video. I think it's kind of fun. I'm not saying it's easy. It's a tough deck to get right, but it's good for the old noggin to do a bit of experimentation. Sometimes you need to be thinking outside the box. Don't just use Nadu like an absolute flid, or Rusko like an absolute flid, or by the way, if you don't know what a flid is, it's a UK term for like an idiot, a moron. I don't know the etymology of the word flid. It's just quite an amusing word. All the American viewers like, oh my god, what the hell's a flid? And all the British people out there going, yeah, I know what a flid is. But yeah, apart from that, let's get into the gameplay. Support the channel in every way possible. Give me all your gold, and I will turn them into pieces of art for you and your friends.
Huh. What is it, Otacon?
Hey Snake, have you thought about getting some more subs and some views?
Yeah, we could do some new subs. How are they gonna do that?
Yeah, you can just do that below.
Go ahead and click like and subscribe below.
Alright, this is a pretty good hand. We've got turn 1 Halfling into turn 2 Realm Breaker. Let's see how this works out then. Versus a Yarok. And they're going to have double triggers, which is just what they like to do. But yeah, to be honest, turn 2 Realm Breaker is pretty epic. Gives our lands tap for any colour. It's always kind of demoralising as well to face it, you know what I mean? I mean, turn 1 Planeswalker's bad enough, but man. Let's stick up and see if they can... if we can race this. So in 3 turns this ults.
Buy us more time.
We'll see how we get on. Arcane Signet. Oh my goodness, a Vraska, that's going to slow him down. That's crazy.
Time to step out of the shadow.
Unless they give it Hexproof or something. Tamiyo's Protection or something. Nope.
Why don't I make that disappear?
So we're at 6 loyalty already. That's crazy. But the weird thing about this format is, right, there's always a steamroll. Like, it always feels like there's one person dominating the other, which is kind of just the way the game is, unfortunately. But there you go. So what do we want to do? Surveil 2. Then for each card you put on top, you may draw a card and lose 3. Well, let's see. So we can lose 6 to draw 3, right? Yeah, let's do it. We can afford to do that a little bit. Until your next turn, it's still a land. Okay. Although it's tapped.
Allies everywhere. Stand with us. Leaving the body.
Decline. Okay, so Operation Keep Ren and Realm Breaker alive. We have 2 blockers. And so they're going to have to kill 2 creatures if they want to kill the Wren. Now, annoyingly, Glissa is an incredible Planeswalker hunter or slash killer. If she deals damage to you, she removes counters from permanents, and that's not good. So it looks like we are actually going to be able to ultimate Wren and then be able to play lands from and permanents from our graveyard. Which, when you think about Grist's ability, is ludicrous. So we will block here and Grist will die. No, we'll keep it in the graveyard. So we're going to ultimate this. Crazy. And you know what? Vraska's done well. Let's just clear the Glissa.
Don't be surprised if we meet again.
What's even more crazy is the fact that we can just keep redeploying everything from the graveyard. It's kind of unbelievable how crazy that ultimate is. And we can just literally replay Vraska. And we have some crazy loops here.
Unfortunate casualty.
I probably should have made the insect first because we could have sacked that to draw a card. But you know what? It's fine. We've got Death Touch. Good blocker. The only scary part of Sultai decks is you're going to know what I'm going to say. Emergent Ultimatum. Emergent Ultimatum needs to be banned because it just invalidates the whole game. You can get them down to 1 and you could have put your entire heart and soul's effort into taking your opponent to 1, but then they will play 1 card and it will be it. The fact that this bat looks at our entire hand is ludicrous for power creep, because this ability's happened before, but it's normally your opponent discards a card of their choice or your opponent reveals a card of their choice and then you can get rid of it. But this just basically, it's Brain Maggot, isn't it? Yeah. Although to be fair, Brain Maggot wasn't flying in lifelink. So there you go. But at the same time, we can literally just kill the bat. Oh, I did it. I did a Batman quote. Just kill the bat. It's simple. We kill the bat. We kill it. When it enters. Cool, there we go. 1 Batman quote was enough to take care of our opponent. Very nice. Alright then, we go first against Nadu. Let's go for the Delighted Halfling and then turn 2 Black Market Connections, and we'll see how we get from there. If we get any sack effects or blowing up the world effects, that's going to be good. Nadu, as you all know, is an annoying piece of poo. Narpoo, he should be called. Narbruv. Narpoo. Right, Narpoo D2. So they can go for a turn 2 Nadu, which is annoying you. Cool thing with Warren Soul Trader is each of your mana dorks can technically get you 2 mana, because it taps for 1 and then you sacrifice it. Let's go full Hoak with this. Liliana. Okay, well, that's annoying because we could use it to get rid of 1 of those, but I'm trying to think now what to do. Go for Grist. We don't have any, like, flying defense, but maybe we just do it anyway. Make them lose the goose. Book goose. And then maybe we can get it back later with the Takanuma.
Off you go.
Green and blue. Okay. If they kill the Grist, then honestly, mate, if they want to use a mana to kill a 1 mana thing, go for it. And then we probably just leave it in the graveyard in case we find a way to get it back. But yeah, Nadu's... It's kind of annoying that they have this goose. Trophy Mage. Ah, okay, so they're going to be a swords build. The Trophy Mage finds a sword. Or an Unctus. Oh, fair enough. A bloody Unctus. What I got Unctus for? Oh, I see. Target creature gets things. Right, that's actually pretty good in that deck. Sign in blood. Actually, if we use the swamp, we don't have to sack the treasure. So we need some kind of things. Oh, come on, man. We are going to be in a lot of trouble. We're at 11 already. Damn, that's some pretty good tech. Because they're going to be able to play Unctus and for 2 life, basically target Nadu each time. And yeah, so I just can't believe we've just gotten all these lands and we've drawn like so many extra cards. Crazy. Unctus. That's some spicy tech, I'll give them that. We're probably going to lose now because of this. Because all of their creatures now have access to this. Bonesaw, okay. All of them have that. That is ridiculously broken with Unctus. Whoever found this Unctus synergy was an absolute bastard. Well, there you go. Synergies are there to be used, I suppose. That's crazy. That is so crazy. 2 life, draw a card, play a land. 2 life, draw a card, play a land. So the only way we can get around this is if next turn we get some kind of mass wipe. Because, yeah, otherwise that's going to be it, basically. But they are going down quite low. They're at 14 now. But now they've got loads of mana up. Well, not loads, but... And then they can use the Unctus on the Bristly Bill. Holy crap. And then that synergizes into each other as well, because lands means Bill puts counters on creatures. They're at 9. Jesus. Down to 9. Down to 7. Oh no, even more lands coming in here. How many times can they do this? I've actually lost count, to be honest. It's kind of crazy how Bristly Bill goes off. It's interesting just to see how crazy this is. And this will probably be the last time I actually show an Nadu match, because it's just absurd. It's just absurd. There are 7 lands now. And they get to draw and discard, because why not, with Unctus. But they are at 7. So, I mean, if we get any form of disruption or something, we might be able to get through. We'll see. It's kind of irritating that we just keep drawing lands. Okay, so Atrax's Fall does actually... It actually does kill the Nadu, but they're going to give it hexproof, aren't they? Jeez, man. We're going to be down to 1, I think. Why are they holding priority here? That's kind of crazy. Seriously? So you've done all of that, and then now you're holding priority. This is the thing about Nadu. Just going to have a sip of coffee. You have the Holy Trinity Venn diagram of asshole Nadu players. If you're going to just play Nadu and go all off in your turn, that's fine, as long as it continues into other players' turns when the other people want to play, because it's a 2-player game, funnily enough. 2 players. Starving Revenant. Interesting. Well, that's not going to be very useful, is it? So let's see what happens. So if we can use the Atrax's Fall here, we might be okay. If they counter it, then we die to the aerial attacks. Okay, and they have the flicker. So, yeah, I'm just going to concede there. Because they have Nadu to kill us over the top in their turn. Cool. So, there you go, guys. If you haven't been under a rock, that's Nadu for you. Oh. Alright, opponent goes first with Nissa, Rampy Lady. But we have a plethora of things to do. I think the first thing we'll probably do is go for the Shaper's Sanctuary. So they target any of our things, we get to draw a card. One of my little pet cards. Love this. Just gaining some value from everything they touch will be good. And next turn, when they get for Nissa, we will be able to kill it with a Power Word Kill. If we... no, it's fine. We'll just do this. And land is great because we have casualties coming up. Coming up. Coming up. Here she is. Now they're going to play maybe a fetch land or something. No, straight up a normal land into A? 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 Oh, don't cuck me like that, man. Just play the 2-drop. Or play the 1-drop. Or fight the Grist and let me draw a card. Either way, I'm not too bothered. Because we will get to draw a card. Oh, they just completely wasted the mana. Which is interesting. So we can go Older Rutstein, but I think what we will do is we will use the power word kill in their turn. We want to waste the mana on their turn. That's why we do things in this phase. Because if we did it in our turn, they would have had the refresh of that mana. There we go. So they did have the hexproof after all. But now they have 1 fewer mana to play with in their own turn. So, wait. It's got hexproof and ward 1. A strange combination of things. Man, some players really feel like they're playing the Pro Tour. I know I say that a lot. It's just because I can't see the players, but I know people very well. And it's like the intent behind everything is like, right, God, look at this land. Oh my God. So if this, it's like an anime show. Like, oh my God. If my opponent does that, then that means I can do this. But then what if this happened? And it's like, I do that in my head fairly fast. But I feel like each of my opponents is like writing down a thesis on why, certain things shouldn't be done. So, okay. I've got another hexproof. Let's try and kill her. Are you sure? No, I'm not sure now. Why are you saying that? Yes, you got ward 1. I've got the mana. I'll pay it. Okay, and then after all that decision making, she just dies to a regular spell. So I just don't know what to say. It's and they made my Grist a 3/3, which is triple the power. Triple strike Grist. Here comes Nissa again. Delightful. Another. So 1 mana away from casualties, which is good. Here's an interesting thing. If we put the journey onto Grist, so if that comes back, we can transform that. Man, a big block there. That would have been very peculiar. Okay. Let's see what else they have up their sleeve. And we even have the mana to pay for the Grist to flip if they do it here. So it's good timing if they just choose to fight the Grist. Topiary Stomper. Okay. Let me guess. Their win con is Craterhoof Behemoth. And Titan of Industry. And Koglers. Ah, yes. Or, that you've got the extras, which are like Ulamog, Kozilek, blah, blah, blah. What do you reckon? Craterhoof? Oh, prime time. Fair. They've got a lot of mana there. It's going to be very difficult to get around this. Such slowness. Ooh, Rankle. That's cool. So go over the top, sacrifice the Grist, bring it back, create a creature. Guess that works. Ooh, Rankle. They're going to read everything. They're going to read everything like they've never seen a Rankle before. Or they're going to use a green counter spell. So, annoyingly, they have the Fierce Empath to sack here. 4, 5, 6, 7. No point attacking with Grist because that's going to be blocked by the Stomper. Hello. Rankle to Donny Dewave 13. Do you copy? Do you copy over? Chord of Calling X equals 1. Wow. That's cute. A blocker. Seriously. X equals 1 to block Rankle, but they would have just sacked the Fierce Empath anyway. Wonders will never cease. Here he is. Prime time. That was a really bad use of chord there. They would have just lost the Empath, which doesn't do anything anymore. It's already done the thing. But they wasted such a... That would have probably ended the game if he had more patience. But you know what? It is what it is. What it is. I don't see how that changed anything, really. Like, does that mean... Oof, another bloody thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll just hit my foot under my desk. I got one green open again, which is always sus as heck. Artifact, creature, enchantment, land. So, artifact, creature, enchantment, land. I really hope this goes through. Nice. Okay, now we get some... poopy. Swing in. But now... So normally, we should have mana for when this comes back as... Yeah, that should work. So we discard and sack. Now, am I going to regret getting rid of this? I'll get rid of Rutstein, I think. Man, I really want to own this guy. There you go. So that's exactly what would have happened before. Move a command to the command zone. No. So you want that to come back. And it did work. Now, I really hope we get... Oh, black card. Yes, Death Touch. So that worked out quite nicely. Until, of course, they go for the Creator Hoof or the Bluminolemogs. The Boolabogs and the Cozy Warmers. Provisioner. So basically, they've kind of got two Nisses here. Allosaurus Shepherd can turn all their elves into dinosaurs. Elf, elf, and elf. Well, that's a pretty good card for this scenario right now. It doesn't give him trample, though. Huh, okay. That is curious. So, Grist is now going to die either way, so I guess we just kill the Nissa. Now, the thing is, we have Izoni, so we don't want to put Grist into the command zone.
My swarm will return.
Because we're going to collect evidence here. Also, Atzel's going to be sick. So, evidence for 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, Izoni's so good. Into the command zone we go. Now, yeah, so we get to utilize that. Swing over the top. I think we're going to go discard and sack again. We are absolutely shredding with Rankle. Shredding with Rankle. An autobiography. Get rid of one of these. Enters or attacks. I think Izoni's been slept on. I made the commander video for her a while back, and she's created the fact it's on attack as well. It's actually ludicrous. It really is ludicrous. Okay, so let's use the binding here. I think we get rid of Stomper. How much to bring something back? 5 mana, okay. Get the Grist. And then we do that. Oh my goodness. Oh, that feels friggin' fantastic. Absolutely delightful to just gain that edge over the top. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.